friends and family. This is a recipe from my family to yours. We love our apple pie, and we like to use a lot of apples. So I'm calling this one Big Family Apple Pie. And I want to teach you about the crust, because when it comes to apple pie, the crust is as important as the filling. So we're going to dive right in, because we got a lot to get to. It is simple, but almost more about technique when it comes to a flavorful apple pie with all the flavors of the fall season, but in a delicious, buttery, flaky crust. All right, so on your oven, you are gonna heat on medium high, let's get our oven going, about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. So that's our thickener. And then 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm just gonna pour everything in as we're chatting. And then you want some warm spices of the season. So I like to do a whole teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then the warm spice. That's what I call this one. It is like a hug in a bottle. It's cloves. It's boiling. When it boils on the stove, it makes your whole house smell amazing. But a little bit goes a really long way. So you just want a little bit of that. And then a good bit of salt, because it's our flavor magnifier. So it's gonna make the apples taste more appley. All right, and then we're gonna stir that together with some water, about 3/4 of a cup, okay? And a good squeeze of lemon juice, not so it tastes lemony, but just so it keeps the apples from browning. And it brings everything together. I call lemon the cheerleader of the kitchen. It kind of brightens up the whole party and helps everything come together in an encouraging way. So you're gonna stir that, and what you want it to do is just let it simmer. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna thicken, almost like, Alexis, a caramel is kind of what you want the consistency of, okay? So let me just stir this a little bit more, and it is gonna do its thing while we work on the crust and the apples. So for an apple pie, I like to use a mix of 2 apples. Everybody has a different apple philosophy. Mine is to use a mixture of Granny Smith, because they're tart, and then Honeycrisp, because they're sweet.
Ooh, okay.
And Honeycrisp were specifically developed by a bee. So the oven is not happening for me today, but we will move on. So that the cells of the apple are bright and juicy.
Okay.
So I love to use these 2.
Some options there.
It is. It's some options, and that Granny Smith actually has more pectin in it, so it lets the apple pie firm up even more. So if you're not a Granny Smith fan, still use it in in the apple pie.
I was just about to ask about that, because my husband's not a huge Granny Smith fan, but he loves apple pie. So
I'm not either. I am not either. But yeah, use it in this apple pie. You won't regret it. Okay, so then you are going to, well, this handy thing was working just until I started to use it on live TV. So this is one of those apple rollers that, of course, I got from Amazon, and it's worked gloriously until I go to use it for you all. Let's give it another try with the...
We believe in you.
Thank you.
If you don't have one of these things, can you use something else?
Yeah, you can just use a peeler.
Okay.
And that's typically what I do. And then I got one of these, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. See how it works? It peels it at the same time it slices it.
Wow.
Now look at what you got. So you've got your apple, all right? And it's already in rings.
Wow.
So I just take it in half like that. So you want 8 to 9 apples.
Okay.
All right.
Of each one?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, no, 8 to 9 total. So I usually do half and half.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna pretend, for TV's sake, like our sauce has gotten to caramel stage, okay? So put that all over the apples that you've got, all right? And it will coat each one. So it kind of has this like caramely, wonderfully wrap or hug around all the apples.
I literally can smell it all the way from here.
You can smell it. It smells amazing. And now I talked to you guys about the crust. If you want, look up on Wish TV, because we did this, Alexis, last year, the perfect pie crust.
Okay.
It's amazing stuff. And all it is flour. It is just flour, salt, butter, but it's got to be frozen butter. So you want those apples all the way bunched up on top. You want your oven to 425 degrees. You want to start it there, and you'll do that for 20 minutes before you turn it down to 350. You start at high, Alexis, because a high oven is like Botox for a pie crust. So it helps it like plump and firm up.
Yeah.
When it comes to pie crust, I know a lot of people say cut the sides off. I don't. I roll the whole thing together.
Yes.
Because I like a thick crust. So look at this technique. You're just gonna roll, roll, roll. I know I've only got a second to do this, and I've got the finished pie right next to me.
But you're doing it so well.
And it takes about an hour to bake. Well, here's what I like to do. I like to do what I call the Knuckle Technique. And the Knuckle Technique, I've never done one this fast, but I know I'm running out of time, so I want to get you guys there. The Knuckle Technique is this. You just take your forefinger and your other 2 fingers, and you push it in like that. That is how you get a good, beautiful crust, okay? So you kind of got to wave. You can pinch it. You can do whatever you want. The pie is going to forgive you. Everyone will forgive you for what your pie looks like when they taste how delicious it is. It's not going to matter at all. So this pie just came out of the oven. There. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? It's just all about the flavor when it comes to Thanksgiving. The flavor and the people. Ooh. All right, so we are going to take this. I know we've got to go here in a second, but I just want to cut into this pie for you.
You can't rush this gloriousness.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
It does. See,
it's almost too pretty to cut.
And I am no expert baker, but I love my food and I love the people I make it for, which is what Thanksgiving is all about. So this one just came out of the oven, so it hasn't had time to set. You want your pie to set for about an hour.
Okay.
So you need to leave this beauty alone. But let me tell you, top it with vanilla ice cream, maybe even some caramel sauce if you want a caramel apple pie.
Ooh.
And everyone will be singing your praises all weekend long.
You know, this smells so good, I can't even imagine. Look at that. Look at the layers.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Big family apple pie. Get some ice cream.
You have to get some ice cream.
Let you go, Alexis, while I make this up.
Okay, well, you know what? This is how you tell people that you love them. This is so good. Thank you so much, Annessa. Yeah. This looks amazing. I can't wait to get my piece. I don't know about you. And now I feel like I can actually make an apple pie. I've never made one before.
Oh, you haven't?
So I am watching intently.
All right. This is for you, my dear.
Well, wonderful. While we dig into this, we have more coming up.